Hi there everyone, it's me Iris. This is the first video, like full-length video that I'm actually like talking. I normally just use audios. Yeah. I have a feeling that a lot of you aren't going to take me seriously in this video because I'm wearing an animal mask. But let me tell you this, I have a lot of animal masks. I'm not showing my face. This is the most I'm going to show my face, okay? Now that that's all done, hi there and welcome to my frequently asked questions about hearing voices video. Yes, I am reading notes from my phone because I have anxiety and it's quite difficult for me to speak, especially because it's going to be in front of loads of people. Even though it's not right now, it feels like it is, if that makes sense. So I've put all my notes on my Scratch, which I will link in the description. And you can view it there as well if you can't stand my voice. Anyway, before we start, please know that this is my experience, so it doesn't work for everyone, and this is not medical advice. If you have a question or anything, you can ask me, but I would advise going straight to it like a GP or a medical professional. Thank you. Just don't ask me for like medication advice and stuff. I can't help you with that, I'm not trained. But there are people out there who can. Okay, so question 1, what are hallucinations? An experience which you see, hear, or even feel or even smell something that doesn't exist. There you go, that's what a hallucination is. Okay, this might be a bit controversial, that doesn't exist, because for me, it's someone who hallucinates as well. It's very, very real for me, and it's very, very real for a lot of people. But I've been told multiple times by people that they aren't real, that the hallucinations aren't real, and that's why I've put that on there, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm so nervous. My personal experience, I've been hallucinating since I was around the age of 6 in the form of voices. It eventually got worse at the age of 11 when I got more of them. The old ones started killing the new ones. No, the new ones started killing the old ones. Sorry, I'm nervous, okay? Etc, etc. Question 2, how do they happen? Hallucinations can happen for lots of different reasons. The most common is a mental health problem, such as schizophrenia. More on that later. But we are most likely to hear about issues with narcotics, so like illegal drugs, typically things like cannabis, marijuana, that kind of thing. This has led to people thinking that people who hallucinate are dangerous, which is why I've got multiple videos, like shorts, on like why people think, no, not why, sorry, people who think that we are scary because we hear voices. We're not scary. I'm pretty sure I'm not scary. I'm fine. Anyway, yeah, this isn't the case, that people are scared, that people who hallucinate are scary. There are multiple people I know who hallucinate and they're all fine. Other causes include lack of sleep, extreme starvation, basically things that can cause us to be on our highest alert, like survival instinct. The 3 things that I'm going to be talking about in this video are schizophrenia, PTSD, and predispositions. Question 3, what's schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is a mental disorder characterised by delusions, hallucinations, disorganised thoughts, speech or behaviour. It's not as bad as it sounds. It really isn't. Trust me, people who have this disorder aren't dangerous. If they are, it's probably because of their other lifestyle choices, like as I said before, narcotics, drugs, that kind of thing. Question 4, what are the symptoms? Symptoms can include delusions, hallucinations, illusions, disordered thinking, disordered behaviour, the flat effect, so apathy, lack of emotional expression, agitation, so like when you're fidgety or like restless, inappropriate reactions, like phobias or fears, A lack of pleasure or interest in activities, lack of motivation to do anything, or decreased speech output. I have a surprising number of these. I didn't even realise, although some of them may be other things like autism or depression, anxiety. Question 5, treatment. The first thing I would suggest is definitely tell someone like your parents or a Senko, basically someone who helps with your educational or emotional needs, like ADHD, ASD, that kind of thing, at your school. Or if you already have a therapist, tell them. This is because of the fact that you can treat it quickly without it affecting you too much. Your therapist or psychiatrist, psychologist, depending on what you have, may be able to prescribe medications known as antipsychotics or alternative therapy for you, such as cognitive behavioural therapy, like CBT, or talking therapy. So my personal experience in this, I can't really say much about treatment at the moment, but I am on antipsychotics. I will explain more about that in another video. And I do have a psychiatrist, psychiatric nurse, and a psychotherapist. Again, more on that in another video. Okay, so what is PTSD now? A mental health condition that develops following a traumatic event characterised by intrusive thoughts about the incident, recurring distress or anxiety, flashbacks, and avoidance of similar situations. This is more of a visual hallucination type of thing, as reliving a traumatic event can be classed as hallucinating. Question 7, symptoms. Symptoms are grouped into different categories. The symptoms may include reliving, so like the flashbacks, hallucinations, nightmares of the incident, avoiding people, places, things, or memories that remind you of the trauma. Excessive arousal, so increased alertness, anger, fits of rage, irritability or hatred, difficulty sleeping or concentrating. Intrusive, negative, distressing thoughts or feelings such as guilt, flat affect, again like apathy, so lack of emotion. Young children may show delays in things like toilet training, motor skills and language. Question 8, what's the treatment? Very similar to schizophrenia actually. A lot of cognitive behavioural therapy can help. Talking therapies, or if worse comes to worse, anxiety medication, things like that. Question 9, what has PTSD got to do with anything? Do you remember anything bad or a big change happening around the time you started hallucinating, if you were to hallucinate? Well, there you go then. If not, it may not be PTSD after all, and let's just say you win this argument. My personal experience for this, I don't really think I have one. Well, I do, but it happened years before I started hallucinating, like years. We're talking 3 years before it happened, so I'm not sure. Okay, question 10, predispositions. A liability or tendency to suffer from a particular condition, particular attitude, or act in a particular way. This is a definition I got off the internet. I'm sorry. And the example that they use, funnily enough, is a child may inherit a predisposition to schizophrenia, or factors including genetic dispositions. Pretty much self-explanatory. If there's someone or lots of someones in your family who has a mental health problem such as schizophrenia, there is a higher chance that you have it too. Enough said. A little more on my personal experience. This is a Q&A sort of thing where I answer the more personal questions and tell you how I've been dealing with it and the sort of thing that's been said to me or behind my back. I'm not asking you to listen to this, but it may be helpful for what you might be going through. If you don't want to read this, then just skip ahead until you hear me talking about something else. Okay, so question 1 of my personal experience. What's my story? Okay. This is quite a long story. Getting a plushie. And it's quite a personal one, obviously, because it's my own story, but yeah. Um, let's just get it over with, okay? Let's just get it over with. Okay, when I was 6, I had one voice, who was called Snowy Maxwell, and she was my best friend. Yes, I am still I'm still reading notes from my phone, from my Scratch project, because it's there as well, and I'm trying to, because it sounded really professional, I'm trying to make it sound as much like that as I can, if that makes sense. Sorry. So I had one voice called Snowy. She was my best friend. It was nice just having her, because I didn't really know how to make friends, so I would walk around and talking to her during primary school. And at that time, it was more or less okay, because a lot of people at that age have imaginary friends. And at the time, that's all I thought it was, just an imaginary friend. Yeah. She was actually really nice to me. Like, she was the nicest voice ever. Her birthday was the 30th of July. Yeah, she was a good friend. I used to celebrate her birthday. It was really nice. When I started high school, I had a special interest. So I'm autistic, so I had a really special interest. The band Paramore, they've done songs for Twilight, Transformers, that kind of thing. I was obsessed with them, absolutely obsessed with them. I've actually been to see them live as well. That is how obsessed I am with them. I got a new voice, and I decided to name her Hayley Williams after the lead singer. And she sounded just like her. That was when I started getting bullied. I don't remember why, but I do remember getting a few more voices, and they were called Tristan Harris, after a character in a book series called School for Good and Evil, again, one of my special interests back in year 7. And then there was Samantha Wolf and Sandy. Tristan and Samantha were horrible to me, and I wasn't used to them being unkind, so I turned into a stereotypical emo. And I did stereotypical emo things. And it actually got so bad that people noticed the emo things. And I got laughed at for that, as well as, yeah, like being bullied and stuff for it. Like, they were like, oh, it's not a flex, it's not a flex. Like, I wasn't saying it was a flex. And it got so bad that I decided to attempt a very stereotypical emo thing. And then I started therapy on the 21st of March, 2021. And I attempted about 3 times, I think. Yeah, about 3 times back then. And it got so bad that I had to move school. When I got to a new school, the voices were strangely quiet, but I had a new one. Her name was Sakura. I still hear her now. She was lovely. She is lovely. She was lovely. She's sometimes nice to me now, but mostly she's horrible. Oh, message. I'll check it later. I don't know why she did this, but she sat me down one day, and she did a really bad thing. She killed Hayley. I don't know why, but she just sat me down and killed her in front of me, which wasn't nice at all. My suspicion is Tristan had something to do with it. Yeah, I couldn't stop her. I was scared, really scared. A few weeks went by, and then I had my first proper boyfriend. The day I asked him out, I got a few more voices. Their names are Nakal, Karka, Torak, and Phoenix. Again, they were fine, until Torak started to control me, saying things like not to talk verbally or your parents will get it. I did what I was told, but one day my boyfriend told me to ignore them, so I lashed out, yelled at him, saying that I couldn't, and it turned into this fight and he broke up with me. That was also the day that Torak killed Samantha. No complaints there. Hated Samantha. And Nkaka killed Sunday. Rumours spread like fire, as rumours do, and I started to experience very similar bullying to my old school. I got more voices in order: Cody, Sonar, Radar, Esther, Thea, Zodiac, and Xavier. And they started to fight too. At one point, I thought Torak had killed Cody. No complaints there. I hate Cody. He's not nice. I hate him. I went on thinking that for around 6 months. I got into trouble a lot more. I turned ever so slightly violent. It got worse until I got accepted as what's known as a hospital school, which is basically a regular school, but it's for people with physical and mental health problems. So that's the school I attend now, and it was like I stopped caring. That was my first mistake. Cody came back with nothing except a scar on his throat. From that point on, he became manipulative, and still is now. He's very manipulative. I'll tell you more about him later. He drove me to the point of lashing out again, this time in a science lab. To my defense, I did tell the teachers I hate science practicals, absolutely hate them. They didn't listen. I walked out and I swore at them. Not my fault. I got into isolation. And when I got sat down for the first time, bang, Snowy's dead. I got a new voice in, Thunder. I thought he was really nice. He was. Second mistake. I discovered Sadie when I had been talking to Cody at one point, and then Sadie had introduced herself. And believe it or not, I had a very small crush on her. Very small crush. She was terrifying, sure. She is terrifying. But she's very pretty. Evan asked me out on November 1st, and I said yes. Evan is another voice. I hate to admit it now, but he was pretty. And then I started my third high school, the hospital school, January 6th. Wow, my notes are tiny. I'm sorry. Funnily enough, that was my ex's birthday. Maybe it's a sign. And then the final old voice died. Tristan, again, no complaints. I thought Evan, as well as the others, Tourette being an exception, he was born horrible, were at least a bit okay, even Sadie and Cody. Third and final mistake. Last thing for you to know, I'm being controlled by these people. Still am, 2 years later. Question 2. You've missed out details. Why didn't you tell us? No. Just no. I'm not telling you. I've left them out for a reason. Okay? Question 3. What sort of things do you get called? Emo, weird, psycho. The usual things you get called. And other things I don't want to say because they're just horrible. What's it like? Question 4. What's it like? Horrible. Okay, there are some times with good times. But a lot of the times, especially recently, because one of the details I've left out, which I will bring out in another video, is one of the voices, Evan, he's dead, and 11 of the other voices have gone. And now I only hear 4, so Sakura, Nakar, Cody, and Sadie. Yeah, they're just not nice, but sometimes they can talk to you, and it's quite nice because you're just like talking to them as like a friend. But most of the time it's just not nice, and I don't like it. Question 5. Am I sure I'm not on anything like drugs or anything? I take antipsychotic medication. for the voices, which is supposed to help. That's the only thing I'm on. It's not drugs. It's mental health medication that has been prescribed to me. And if you don't believe me, I will go and find my medical records for you. Question 6. What's the most stupid thing they've told you to do? Okay, I really don't like this question, but I'll answer it anyway. They have told me to put salt in cuts that I've made. They told me to put salt in my eyes once. I don't know why. They've told me to drink bleach, which I have also done. If you don't believe me, there is a bleach stain on my jeans from where it dripped, which I'm not going to show you because that would just be weird, but there is a stain there of bleach. Question 7, how do I cope with it? Loud music I find very, very helpful. I listen to a lot of heavy metal, Slipknot, drum and bass. My favourite band is a band called Pendulum now, not Paramore. R.I.P. I loved my year 7 self. She was cool. Until everything happened, and then she stopped being so cool, but you know. Yeah, I listen to loud music, that helps block them out. I've shut down a lot of my emotions, meaning I don't really get annoyed by it, but I don't really feel anything at all, I used to not feel pain, but I've started feeling pain again now. I don't know why. I don't really get hungry. I don't really feel happy much anymore. This is a bit of an extreme method of coping, I know, but it works for me. I think it annoys other people though, because they could try and make me laugh and I won't. It's been a few times where people have tried to hit me to see if I feel anything, but at the time I didn't feel anything at all. I would say I feel bad about annoying others, but I don't really feel anything, do I? So, things you should never ever say to people like me, because just don't. Number 1, oh my god, the emo girl / guy / person, whoever your pronouns, whatever your pronouns are being delusional again, and it's really fucking dangerous. Stop. Do I look like I give one? I don't. Just no. Just don't say that. That's just no. Ew, no. Just don't. Okay. What do you really think they're going to do? Things like that, or just ignore them. If it was really that easy to ignore them, I would have ignored them by now. But it isn't. Okay? It isn't. And thank you. We have come to the end of my presentation. I think that is about everything. Please feel free to ask any questions about my voices or experience, but any medical advice, as I said before, just don't consult someone professional, if that makes sense. I have tagged someone in this video. The YouTube channel is Living Well After Schizophrenia. I've done a lot of research into treatment and stuff, and she's really helped. I hope she sees this video, but if not, that's fine. I've tagged her so you can do a bit of research of your own, because she's really helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a really long video. My throat's starting to hurt. I'm sorry, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.